Okay, welcome. It is Memorial Day weekend. Today's Saturday. And because we are not going to be doing our guided meditations on Monday, both the early morning one at River Shores and the normal online at noon, I'm going to record this one today on Saturday. We'll be giving it live at Fife on Tuesday next week. So this one's titled already here. It's a meditation on presence. And before we start, I would encourage you to put on some soft music of your own. We won't play any music behind this one because we're posting it to YouTube. The music rules and regulations get a little bit finicky, and we just don't need to tangle with that, and I'll let you select your own music. So, welcome. Glad you carved out this time for yourself. I know what it takes to get here. You got up, you showed up, and now you're sitting down, and that's just your whole job for the next few minutes. You've already done the hard part. So let's take a few moments to settle in, feel the chair beneath you, a solid reality of it, the weight of your body resting. Let your hands find a comfortable place in your lap, on your thighs, or wherever they want to land. Not gripping, not managing, just resting. And if it feels right for you today, go ahead and let your eyes close gently, or just find a soft downward gaze. Just point that gaze a few feet in front of you on the floor. Nothing really to look at, nothing to figure out. Just settle in. Take a nice easy breath in through your nose and let it go. Good. You don't need to look like a photograph of a monk. You just need to be reasonably comfortable and reasonably awake. Upright enough that you're present, but relaxed enough that you're not bracing against anything. Let your feet rest on the floor and feel that contact. There's something steady about that. The floor isn't going anywhere, neither are you. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Not because anything is wrong, just because they've probably been up near your ears most of the day and they deserve a rest. And now let's find the breath. Not control it, not manage it, just find it. The simple fact that you're already breathing, just notice that. You didn't have to start, it was going before you got here, and it'll keep going without your supervision. There's really something quietly wonderful about that. Your breath, a bit like a porch swing on a still afternoon. Nobody's pushing it, nobody's forcing it. Every once in a while it just moves forward, back at its own slow, easy pace. All you have to do is notice it. Just watch it. Watch the breath. Just ride it a little. A few words to help you focus on your breathing. You may want to repeat these silently to yourself. Don't strain for them, just let them arrive gently on the breath. Breathing in, I arrive in this moment. Breathing out, I set down what comes next. Breathing in, I am already here. Breathing out, this is enough. You can stay with that for a few more breaths if you like. There isn't anything to get right. You just have to be here, to be present. There's a quote I've been carrying around this week, comes from the Vietnamese Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh. He wrote, "Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the whole world revolves. Slowly, evenly, without rushing toward the future." Drink your tea. Not while you're going over your to-do list, Not while you're planning the conversation you need to have. Just drink your tea. Simple, right? And yet, most of us know exactly what he's pointing at because most of us do the opposite without even knowing it. So here's something I want you to sit with today. There is a kind of stress that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up like a crisis. It doesn't ring a bell or wave a flag. It just hums quietly, constantly, underneath the surface of daily life. It's the stress of always being somewhere in your mind. You wake up and you're already planning the day. You finish breakfast and your mind is already at work. You're sitting in one place while part of your attention is somewhere 3 hours from now. Now, this isn't unusual. It's actually how most of us learn to function. We figured out somewhere along the way that staying mentally ahead of things helped us feel more in control. If we could anticipate the problem before it arrived, we'd be ready. If we could keep everything organized up front in our heads, nothing would catch us off guard. And that works up to a point. The trouble is, when your mind is constantly scanning the horizon for what's coming next, your nervous system doesn't get the signal that things are okay right now. It reads that constant forward-leaning attention as a sign that something important is always approaching. So it stays on, just slightly, quietly, like a motor that never fully shuts off. That's why you can sit down on a Sunday afternoon with nothing urgent happening and still feel vaguely restless. Your body has technically stopped, but your mind keeps checking, keeps monitoring, keeps preparing for whatever comes next. And over time, that low hum becomes its own kind of fatigue. Not the tiredness that comes from doing too much, the tiredness that comes from never quite arriving anywhere. So let's pause here for a moment. Join me in a little imaginative thinking. I want you to imagine something simple. You've been traveling, maybe a long car ride, maybe a few days away, it doesn't matter where, but you've been on the move and now you're home. You come through the front door. You set your bag down by the door, maybe you kick off your shoes and you just sit. Not to check your phone, not to look at your email, not because you need to rest before the next thing, just you sat down and you don't need to be anywhere else for the rest of the day. Feel into that for a moment. What does your body do when it finally gets the message that you've arrived? Not that you're done, not that everything is figured out, just that you are here, that this is the place, this is the moment. There's no other moment competing with this one. That's presence, not some exotic state. Not something you have to earn or achieve. Just the felt sense of actually being where you already are. You might notice a small release somewhere in your shoulders, in your jaw, maybe across your forehead. Not dramatic, just a little softening. The body knows the difference between arriving and still waiting to arrive. Take a few breaths and let that image settle. The thing about always thinking ahead is that it has a hidden cost. Not just tension, not just fatigue, but something quieter. You stop actually being inside your own life while that life is happening. You eat while planning for later. You sit with someone while worrying about tomorrow. You rest while organizing what still needs to happen. Your body is in one place, your mind somewhere else entirely. And when that pattern goes on long enough, days, weeks, months, even years, something strange happens. Time starts to feel like it's going very fast, faster than it used to. And you look up and think, where did the week go? Where did the summer go? But here's the thing. The week didn't disappear. You were in it. You just weren't quite all the way there. Your attention was always a little bit ahead of the moment you were actually living. And this is why the practice of presence isn't just a nice thing to do on a day like today. It's actually a way of recovering your own life, of getting back to the moments that are yours. And here's one more thing, and I'll say this gently because I know you might want to push back. You're going to say, but I have to think ahead. I have responsibilities. I can't just float around in the present moment. And you're right, planning matters. Preparation matters. Responsibility matters. Nobody is suggesting you stop doing those things. The shift is smaller than that. It's not about giving up thinking ahead. It's about noticing when the future has taken over completely, when your mind is living there instead of just visiting there. And when you notice that, choosing to come back to where you actually are. Not as a failure, not as a discipline, just as a return. A gentle return. Let's try one more image. I want you to picture yourself standing at the edge of a quiet pond. It's early in the morning. The light is just arriving. That soft, gray gold kind of light that doesn't announce itself, it just appears. The water is still, completely still, like a sheet of dark glass. There's no wind. There are no people. And there is nowhere you need to be. You're just standing there. Not thinking about later. Not reviewing something from yesterday. You're simply watching the water. A small bird lands on a branch across the pond and sends one tiny ripple out from the bank. You watch it move slowly until it disappears at the center of the water. A dragonfly lands on a reed near your feet. You notice its wings the way they catch the early light, iridescent and improbable. You didn't plan to notice that. You just noticed it because your attention was here, not somewhere else. That's what your mind feels like when it isn't running ahead. Not empty, not asleep, just clear. Actually here. Just let that image rest with you for a few moments. You don't need to hold it tightly, just let it be. I want to share a poem with you today. It was written by Jane Kenyon, American poet who lived in New Hampshire. She wrote beautifully about ordinary life and died far too young. This poem is called Otherwise, and it's from a collection she released in 1996 called Otherwise, New and Selected Poems. I got out of bed on 2 strong legs. It might have been otherwise. I ate cereal, sweet milk, ripe, flawless peach. It might have been otherwise. I took the dog upstairs and he slept and breathed beside me. It might have been otherwise. I sat in a chair in a room with paintings on the walls. All day I did what I had to do and wanted to. It might have been otherwise. I ate in a room with lamps alit among flowers. Night fell softly as snow. I slept in a bed in a room with paintings on the walls and planned another day just like this day. But one day, I know, it will be otherwise. She's not talking about anything dramatic. She got out of bed. She ate a peach. The dog slept beside her. And underneath of it, underneath all of it, it might have been otherwise. That phrase is presence. That's what it sounds like when you're actually here for your own life. One more thought before we move on to our affirmations. Sometimes when we talk about presence, people hear it as a demand, like there's something wrong with them for not being here enough. Like they need to try harder, and that's not quite what I mean. Think of it more like a screen door. You know how a screen door sometimes just keeps swinging open no matter what? A little breeze, a little inattention, and bang, it swings out again. That's not a problem, it's just a screen door. You notice it went, and you bring it back. Close it gently, no drama. Often your mind is like that screen door. It will swing out toward tomorrow 100 times during a meditation, 100 times during a meal, even 100 times in the middle of a conversation. And that's not failure, that's just a mind doing what minds do. The practice is in the noticing and the gentle return, just like the screen door. Every time you bring your attention back to this moment, back to the breath, back to the room, back to whoever is right in front of you, you are doing the practice. And each one of those small returns is its own kind of coming home. We move on to our affirmations on this theme of presence. Just let them land how they want to. If one resonates, stay with it. If one doesn't fit, just let it pass. I am here now in this body, in this breath, in this moment. I am here now in this body, in this breath, in this moment. I do not need to solve the future in order to rest in the present. I do not need to solve the future in order to rest in the present. My life is happening here, in this chair, in this room, in this breath. My life is happening here, in this chair, in this room, in this breath. I give myself permission to fully arrive where I already am. I give myself permission to fully arrive where I already am. Just two more. The present moment does not need to be improved, it only needs to be experienced. The present moment does not need to be improved, it only needs to be experienced. And the last of our affirmations, this moment is enough, and I am enough for it. This moment is enough, and I am enough for it. Take a nice, easy, full breath in, and just let it go with a sigh. Start to feel your way back into the room, maybe bringing a little gentle movement to the body, perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes. They've been sitting here quietly this whole time, doing nothing, asking nothing of you. Give them a little credit. Notice the sounds around you, whatever's there. The hum of the building, voices somewhere, maybe the particular quiet of the room you're in. These are the sounds of your present moment. This is the one you get to be inside of right now. When you feel ready, and take your own time, do this at your own pace. Just let your eyes gently reopen. Take in the room. You've been here for a little while now. You showed up, you arrived, and for a few moments at least, you were actually home. So thank you for sharing the practice with me today. Thank you for your presence in every sense of that word. Take good care of yourselves out there. Namaste.